guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to Queen V's community. Welcome to Queen V's channel. In today's video, guys, I'm going to talk to you about some of the roles, some of the responsibilities of a social worker here in the UK. If you are interested, then I'll encourage you to watch the video to the end because there's so much that I'm going to cover in today's video. The role and the responsibilities I'm going to cover is across the board, whether you're working within the adult services or whether you're working within the children's services. This is a general role, this is a general responsibility that every social worker, whether in the adult services, whether in the children's services, will be doing to support the needs of your clients. Role number one is about assessment. Guys, I cannot explain enough the importance of assessment in social work. You will not be able to support the needs of your client. You will not be able to support your client to achieve a good outcome in their life without carrying out an assessment. Assessment is there for you to identify the worries, the needs, the concerns of your client. So a good assessment is so very important in social work. When you come into social work, you're going to be involved in a number of assessments depending on the team where you are working in. Every team have got specific assessment that they do. When you go into the adult services, perhaps you're going to be involved in adult community care assessment. There are so many other assessments that you're going to be involved in within the adult services. When you come into children's services, depending on the team that you're working in, there are so many assessments that you're going to be involved in. For example, if you are in the child protection team, you're going to be involved in perhaps child and family assessment. It's called C&F assessment. When you are working within the child protection team, the long term or even in the assessment team, the first response team, you will perhaps be involved in Section 47 investigation, and it's a multi-agency approach, it's interagency approach. The requirement, the expectation is for you to engage with the police, the health, education, and also to be able to talk to other family members so you can do a good assessment, you can understand the concerns very well and provide the right intervention, the right support and services to the family, the clients that you're going to be working with. If you are working within the children in care team, you're going to be involved in a number of assessment that you're going to be involved in will be like age assessment if you are working with unaccompanied asylum minors. If you are within the children in care team, another assessment that perhaps you're going to be involved in is called pathway plan assessment, and it's about assessing your young person about their independent living skills, especially from the age of 16 to 21 and 25 if they are still in care. Is an assessment you're going to do, ongoing assessment, to be able to see that your young person is achieving his or her independent living skills. If you are working within the fostering team, there are so many assessments that you're going to be involved in. There is the Form F assessment, perhaps you're going to be involved in. There is SGO assessment, special guardianship assessment. There's adoption assessment, private fostering assessment. This is just to name a few of the assessments when you come into the specialized team within the fostering team. I know the youth offending team also have their own specialized assessment that they do when you come to do your placement within the youth team, the youth offending team. Another responsibility, another role that you're going to be involved in when you come into working within children's services or adult services is intervention. Intervention is a responsibility of a social worker. This is to intervene on behalf of your client. This is to be able to provide the right support and services for your client. I always say that clients that you're working with, they didn't come to the attention of children's services or they didn't come to the attention of adult services because they just want to be known by the local authority. They have worries, they have needs, they have concerns. Hence, they are known to the local authority, and your role as a social worker is to make sure that you carry out an assessment of their needs and try your best to provide the right intervention so that they can be able to get a good outcome of their life. That is what social work is all about. Social work is about ensuring that your clients are getting a good outcome. Your concerns of your clients is minimized. That is why they are within the children's services for. That is why they are within the adult services for. There are so many forms of intervention that you are going to put in place for your family. This is all dependent on the needs of your client. This is all dependent on the assessment. The outcome of your assessment will determine what kind of intervention, what kind of support and services that you need to put into place. For example, if you are working with a family and their concerns, your assessment is that there are concerns of domestic violence within the family, what you need to do, your intervention will be to make a referral to the domestic violence team, whether within the local authority where you are working in or whether within an external voluntary organization, to work with the family to increase their awareness about the impact of domestic violence on perhaps the children that they are living with, on perhaps the young adults that they are living with. So depending on the assessment, you will be able to put the right intervention in. Perhaps you are working with a family and there are concerns of mental health issues, and your assessment will be to refer them for counseling, to refer them for therapy, and that is your intervention. So any referral that you put in, all the support and services you put in are your interventions. For instance, if you're working with a family and they have issues of immigration, they don't have status here in UK, your intervention will be to refer them to perhaps a solicitor and also to advocate on their behalf, perhaps for the local authority to allocate a funding to help the family, depending if there's children within the family, then the children's services will get on board. If it's with an adult, perhaps you might have to find charity and voluntary organization that will be able to help the family that have got issues around immigration. So every family that you work with is different. Every need, every concern is different. So depending on the concerns, depending on the needs, that is when you'll be able to put the right intervention through. Another role, another responsibility that I'm very passionate about is advocacy. You cannot call yourself a social worker without advocating for your clients. It's as simple as that. You are there to represent your vulnerable clients. You are there to be the voice of the people whose voice are not being heard. You are there as a representative of your clients. So one of your advocacy role as a social worker is to advocate for them to have funding. So there's resource panel. Every local authority have got resource panel. You don't hold the budget. You don't hold the resources that the local authority have. So if you do your assessment and you know that there is the need for the family to have something specific, then you need to do your paperwork and take it to resource panel and advocate as much as possible for the clients. So perhaps the right support will be put in place to minimize risk concerns that they have. Hence, they have come to the attention of the local authority. Completing referrals will be part and parcel of your role, your responsibility as a social worker. There's so many referrals that you are going to be engaging in when you come and do your placement or when you come and work within social care, whether adult or children's services. Perhaps you're going to do a referral to camps for your young people, children that you're working with to get therapeutic support. You might perhaps do a referral to the mental health team for an adult that you are working with. You will do a referral for support and services for a charity organization to get in and on board and help the clients. Perhaps there are concerns of CSE, child sexual exploitation. You have to do a referral to the exploitation panel, so support will be put in place for the family to get support, or the child, the young person, to get support in terms of CSE. There's so many referrals. Perhaps drug and alcohol referral, you have to do so. A key worker and support worker will be put in place to help the family in terms of drug and alcohol concerns. There's so many referrals that you're going to be doing. You're going to be working with a host of other professionals, external agencies, to be able to support support the client that you're working with. These are basic requirements, expectations, responsibilities that you're going to be engaging in when you come to do your placement, when you come and work within social services, social care, whether adult or children's services. I want to talk about another responsibility that a social worker here in the UK will be doing is about multi-agency working, multi-agency approach. Your role, your responsibility as a social worker is to engage other professionals to the family. If you are working with a family and the child goes to school, you have to, it's your responsibility to work in partnership with the teachers, so you'll be able to ensure that the child, the family is getting the support to be able to meet the educational needs of the child, the young person that you are living with. In terms of health, you might perhaps be working with the midwife if you are working with a family that have got babies, or the family nurse partnership. You're gonna be working with perhaps the nurses. There's so many hosts of professionals that social workers will work with, and that is your role, that is your responsibility to bring a host of professionals in place. So with this, you're gonna be organizing so many meetings, professionals meetings, network meetings, and bring other professionals on board so you can be able to help the family achieve a good and positive outcome for their lives. You're going to be involving in so many roles. Some of the roles is to do direct work with your clients. Direct work is something that is so very important, so very vital. Relationship building is essential in social work. If you don't build a relationship with the client that you're going to work with, unfortunately, how would you even be able to know their needs if you don't have a relationship with them? I do understand, hands up, there are so many challenges that you're going to encounter if you're trying to build a relationship. Not everybody or every family that you work with, every client that you work with wants a relationship with you. I do know that because I've encountered my own fair of this issue. But you try as much as possible as a social worker to build a positive rapport with your client, so you'll be able to understand their needs as much as possible. Part of your role as a social worker, whether you're working within the adult services, whether you're working within the children's services, is to carry out visits. You're going to be doing home visits. Believe me or not, some of the home visits is carried out late in the evening. So this is an important role for you as a social worker when you come into this profession, to carry out visits and to do direct work with your clients. It's a mandatory requirement of a social worker here in the UK. One of the important role responsibility of a social worker here in the UK is about recordings. My manager, my previous manager, when I was working in the safeguarding team, used to tell me that if you have not recorded the work, you have not done the work. If it's not on the system, you have not done the work. No matter how much you run around, no matter how much you do with your clients, if you have not done the recordings, it's not there. Social work is evidence-based. If you have not shown evidence of what you have done, it's never done. You have not done it. Because social work, we are being regulated and audited by Ofsted. And when Ofsted comes in, you cannot come and make excuses that you have forgotten to do the recordings. So when you do your work, you need to make sure that you are able to record as promptly as possible on the system, so you can account for the work that you have done for your clients. Also, when you work with children who are in care of the local authority, then you understand the importance of recording. But because some of the young people, when they grow up, they want to come back and read their files. They want to get their files. And if you don't record accurately and appropriately, some of the information that they're supposed to read for themselves will be missing from the file. So it's so very important that you are able to record, and information that you receive through letters, emails, you have to scan them onto the system so they can be able to get their information when the time is right for them to read their files. I hope I have explained myself properly to you guys in terms of some of the responsibilities, some of the duties and tasks that you are expected to do when you come into social work. If I've not covered anything and you know of it, please put that in the comment section and let's all share ideas together. Let me know if this video has been of help to you, whether you have learned something out of this video. Put that in the comment section. I want to hear your views and your thoughts about my videos. If you have not subscribed to this channel and you are somebody who is interested to watch and listen to social work educational videos, then subscribe to the channel and join this community, because I'm going to do more videos, and by subscribing to the channel, you will be notified as soon as I upload a video on the community. My vision is to share ideas with students, newly qualified, and people who are interested in social work topics. And I want this community to grow so it can reach out to so many people out there looking for information around social work. There's so many Black African Caribbeans out there, young people, they are looking for Black people to identify themselves with. They're looking for people of their color so they can engage with. And that's when I come in. My videos, my YouTube channel is for everyone, every walks of life. But even so, Black and African Caribbeans, people who do not have English as their first language, people who are struggling with confidence. I have struggled with confidence for a number of years in terms of my social work development, and now I've developed myself. It took me so many years to develop myself, and now I'm here on social media platform, and my aim is to ensure to reach out to so many Black African Caribbeans who wants to come to social work, and they are also struggling with confidence. And I would say, if I have been able to do it and develop my confidence, then you can do it as well. So share my videos to people and let them engage and interact with the videos, and perhaps they will be able to see that social work is a rewarding career. Social work is something that they can do, because if I've been able to do it and I'm still doing it, then they can do it as well. I want to end by saying your dreams and your aspiration can come true. You'll never know, but there are challenges, there are difficulties ahead. So what you need to do is to work hard towards your dreams and your aspiration. And one day, you never know, they can come to pass. Thanks for watching, and see you on my next video. Bye.